everyone. So today we'll be talking about graphical analysis of linear programming problem. Till now we have learned how to formulate linear programming problems. So we'll see how we can solve them using graphical analysis. Okay. So these are some of the steps involved in the graphical method. First of all, we need to formulate the problem. Okay, based on the given data, we need to identify what are our objective. Is it maximization or minimization problem? Then we have to formulate our constraint equation, right? And after that, we'll move with the graphical method. So one thing we need to remember, we can use graphical method only if we have two decision variables, right? We can't use graphical method if we have more than two decision variables. So we'll first formulate the problem, then we'll construct a graph and plot the constraint lines, determine the valid side of each constraint line, and then we will identify what is the feasible solution region. Okay, where will our optimal solution fall? Okay, and then plot the objective function on the graph and find the optimum point. Okay, so these are some of the steps involved. Okay, so first of all, we need to define the variables to be optimized. That is our decision variables. Okay, the question asked is a good indicator as to what these will be. Like what we need to produce, how many units of product A, product B we need to produce, like that. Okay, so those will be our decision variable. Write the objective function in words and then convert into mathematical equation. Write the constraints in words, then convert it to mathematical inequalities, because it will be either greater than, less than equalities, okay, or inequalities. Graph the constraints as equations. Then first step is to graph our constraints equation on the graph. And then we need to identify what is a feasible region by taking into account the inequality signs, greater than, less than, and its direction. Okay. So suppose if we just have a vertical line, so and it is greater than value, then we'll shade it here. If it is less than, then we'll shade it to the left. And if it is greater than, then we'll shade it to the right. Okay, then if simply we have a horizontal line, and if it is less than, then we will shade it below. And if it is greater than that horizontal line, we'll shade it above. Okay, so now a line which is a non-zero, that define your slope. Okay, so if it is less than equal to, then we'll shade below it, right? Suppose this is a line with a slope, and if it is greater than, we'll shade it above. Okay, then after plotting all these lines, equations, we need to find out our feasible region. And after that, we identify our feasible region, we need to identify the corner points by solving system of linear equations whose intersection represent a corner point. Suppose suppose this is my equations that I have represented, okay? And suppose this will be my feasible area. So this will be a corner point where these two equations are intersecting. So that will be my corner point. Okay, so test all corner points on the objective function. And all these corner points we need to check. Okay, we'll be solving this one sum as well so that you understand more clearly. So the winning point is the point that optimizes the objective function. Biggest if maximizing and smallest if minimizing, right? So this is our problem. Let's study this problem first, then read it and understand it. Then we'll plot on graph. So an airline offers coach and first class tickets. So there's an airline which offers coach and first class tickets. For the airline to be profitable, it must sell a minimum of 25 first class tickets. That is a minimum of 25 first class tickets should be sold if this airline want to be a profitable airline, and a minimum of 40 coach tickets. So the company makes a profit of $225 for each coach ticket and $200 for each first class ticket. So this is the profit associated with every ticket, each ticket related to coach and first class. At most, the plane has a capacity of 150 travelers. Sorry. How many of each ticket should be sold in order to maximize the profits, right? So let's study how we'll formulate the problem first, and then how will we formulate it on the graph. Okay, so first step is to identify the unknown quantities. What are unknown quantities here? Like how many tickets will sell for coach and how many tickets will sell for first class tickets. So here we are asked to find the number of each ticket that should be sold. since they are coach and first class ticket, we identify those as the unknowns. Okay, that is our decision variable. For example, X is our number of coach tickets, assume it, and Y is the number of first class ticket. So now we have assumed what are our decision variables. Next, we need to identify the objective function. Objective function, what is our objective for the problem? We need to maximize, minimize. So when we read the question, it was clear that we need to maximize our profit. So the question helps us identify the objective function. Since the goal is the maximize profits, our objective is identified. Next, we need to identify the objective function. The question also helps us identify the objective function. Okay, so profit for coach tickets is 225 and X coach tickets are sold. The profit of these tickets would be 225 into number of tickets sold, 225 into X. Similarly, for first class ticket, your profit per ticket is $200. So for Y number of tickets, it will be 200 into Y. So simple unitary technique. Okay. So total profit, what will be our total profit? That will be our objective function. Okay. So 225 into X will be the profit associated with the sale of coach tickets, and 200 into Y will be profit associated with number of first class tickets. Okay, so this is our objective function. Now, till now we have identified decision variables, unknown variables, right? And our objective function equations. Now let's see what our constraints are. So we want to make the value of as large as possible, provided the constraints are met. In this case, we have following constraint: sell at least 25 first class tickets. Okay, so what does it mean? At least we should sell 25 tickets. It's up to us. If we are able to sell more than 25, it's okay. But at least 25 we must sell. Okay. So Y is greater than equal to 25 is one condition. What constraint equation? Second is sell it at least 40 coach tickets. So at least 40 coach tickets means 40 or more should be sold. That is, X should be greater than or equal to 40. Okay. So, and a third constraint is no more than 150 tickets can be sold. So total of X and Y should be less than or equal to 150. So these becomes our constraint equation, all of these. And this is our objective function. Okay. And definitely X and Y need to be positive or either 0 or positive. So that is why we'll be solving our sum in first quadrant. Let's see. We will work to think about these constraints graphically and return to the objective function afterwards. Okay, so first we need to go with constraint equation. We'll plot these equation and we'll find out the feasible area. Okay, we'll just deal with the following graph. So this is basically X and Y axis, our graph. Okay, so suppose now that we are only interested in the first quadrant, as I told you, we can't have negative tickets. We either have, either we'll have greater than, Y would be greater than 0, X would be greater than 0. So it will be always this side, X greater than 0, Y greater than 0, right? So we'll first plot each of these inequalities as equations. So we'll convert our inequality sign in equal to sign just to plot it on the graph. Okay, so the first two equations are horizontal and vertical lines. Okay, and to plot X and Y, it is preferable to find the horizontal and vertical intercepts. Okay, so how we can find the intercept? Like suppose we want to draw a line. If we know what are 2 points, we can just join these line points. This will be a line. So similarly for this thing, we'll do the same thing. So first we'll assume that X equal to 0 and we'll plot Y. We'll get the value of Y. If we put X equal to 0 here, we'll get Y equal to 150, right? And similarly, when we put Y equal to 0, we get X equal to 150. So these are 2 points which we'll get, and we can join these points on the graph and we'll get the equation of X plus Y equal to 150. And similarly, X equal to 225, we can easily plot just the number equal sign and Y equal to 40. Let's see now. So these are 3 lines that we have plotted. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, this is our slope line, X plus Y is equal to 151. Right, and then we have Y equal to 25, right? Sorry, Y equal to 40. So that will be our green line. Yeah, and X equal to 40, that will be our blue line. Got it? So this is how we plot the line on the graph. Now let's deal with inequalities. Okay, so our next task is to take into account the inequalities. We first ask, when is Y greater than equal to 25? This is our condition, right? That Y should be greater than equal to 25. So here, this is our Y constraint line. So it will be always greater than 25. Okay, this is how we'll represent. Okay, so any value greater than 25 will fulfill this constraint equation, y greater than equal to 25, equal to on this line and greater than above the line. Okay, so this is how we represent, and we can shade the area for our clarification. Now, next we deal with x equal to x is greater than equal to 40. So when we talk about x greater than 40, so this is our 40. Okay, so this will represent equal to 40, and this area will represent greater than 40. Values to the left are smaller than 40. So we just shade to the right to get values larger than 40. Okay, so now this equation. So the blue area, this blue area satisfying the second constraint, this green area satisfying the first constraint. Now let's come to our third constraint equation. Okay, so we have one more constraint to consider, x plus y greater than equal to 150. So we have two options, either shade below or above. Okay, so that is basically, this is our slope. Where should we shade the area? Okay, here or here. So let's see. Just to understand this point clearly, where we should shade, we can just check it by choosing some random points, such as suppose we choose this point 64 130. So this is satisfying, this will be satisfying this equation. And when we are talking about this point, this will not be satisfying the equation itself. For example, when we say 64 and 130, when we are taking this point, okay, so it is giving us value greater than 150. So this is not the right direction. And similarly, when it will give us 194, which is larger than 150. Okay, so this won't be satisfied. Similarly, when we put a point which is below that line, x plus y equal to 150. So 64 for 65, it gives 129. So this is a value smaller than 150. So it is satisfying the line, right? So this is just representing the same points on the graph, as you can see. Okay, so we can see the area, this purple area below the line would fulfill this equation. Okay, or we can do it directly when we see this equation, right? It should be less than, like this was our constraint equation, less than. So if we have less than, so you can shade it below. Okay, so now we can see we have plotted all three constraint equation, and we have seen the area as well. What is our feasible area? Okay, so now we can see, if we want to just give a check, okay, all the points which are lying in this particular area, this area, which is common to all the constraint equation feasible area, right? So this purple, okay. So if we take any point inside this, okay, it will satisfy all the equations. Okay, so suppose if we are taking a point 64, 65, so it is satisfying this point 60, this is satisfying this point, and this is satisfying this equation as well. Okay, so but we don't know. See, we have this feasible area. All the points which will be lying in this feasible area will give us right answers, that it will fulfill all the conditions, but we still don't know what are the points which will maximize our profits, right? For that purpose, we need to find out the corner points of this feasible area. Can you see these corner points here? So these are corner points which we need to find out. Okay, this gets up to the great point, but still doesn't answer the question, which point maximizes profit. Fortunately, there's a theorem discovered by mathematician that allows us to answer the question. First of all, we define a new term, a corner point. A corner point is a point that falls along the corners of a feasible region. In our situation, we have three corner points, right? These three are corner points of our feasible area, which are shown on the graph as solid black dots. You can see it more clearly in this slide. Okay, so these are our corner points, and this is our feasible area, which is satisfying all the equations. Okay, so now the objective function along with three corner points above form a bounded linear programming problem, because this area is bounded. It is a bounded feasible region. Okay, that is, imagine you are looking at three fence posts connected by fences respectively. If you were to put your dog in the middle, and you could be sure that it won't escape, right? You have your pet and you put it in the boundary. So it is bounded region for your dog. Okay, so it won't escape. So in this case, then you have a bounded linear programming problem. If the dog could walk infinitely in any one direction, then the problem is unbounded. Okay, suppose if this is our area and you have kept your dog here. So dog is free to move, right? Here, everywhere. So fundamental theory of linear programming, if a solution exists to a bounded linear programming problem, so this is our bounded linear programming problem, that it occurs at one of the corner points. So our solution will be at one of the corner points. But if a feasible region is unbounded, then a maximum value of objective function does not exist. It can go anywhere. And if a feasible region is unbounded, and the objective function has only positive coefficient, then a minimum value exists at your, corner point. Okay, mostly minimization problem. So these means we have to choose among 3 corner points to verify the winner. We must see which of these 3 points maximizes the objective function. To find out the corner points as order pair, we must solve 3 systems of 2 equations each. So this is our first system, where x equal to 40 and x plus y. Okay, x equal to 40, right? This is x equal to 40 and this is equation. So this is one, we will solve these two. And for here, we'll solve these two, green. In this one, x plus y equal to 150. Okay. And similarly for this, we'll solve x and y thing. Okay, let's see. So this is system 1, x40, x plus y 50, system 2, 40, 25, system 3, 25, x plus y. So let's solve for system 1. We put x equal to 40 in this equation. What will get? Y 150. So y 110. So point will become 40 and 110. Similarly, system 2, x and y are directly given. So that point is 40 and 25. And for system 3, we'll put y equal to 25. We'll get x equal to 125. So we'll get our third corner point as well. So our next step is we know what are corner points. So we'll put these points in the objective function. Okay, so what were our objective function? 225x plus 200y, right? So you can put all these points in your objective function, 3 points. So here you can see where your profit is maximum. So we can directly, we can see very clearly that 0.3 gives us maximum profit. Okay, and therefore we can conclude that airline should sell 125 coach tickets and 25 first class tickets in order to maximize your profits. Okay, so this is how